Alright fellas, now there's been a ton of news over the last week about Canelo and Crawford. This fight is what I would have dubbed the worst kept secret in boxing, and finally it has a date and a broadcaster. Along with that, so much news has been coming out, including who might be on this historic card. But there's just been so much news, we need to break it all down and figure out, well, what's truly going on, as well as answer topics like who might actually be fighting on this mega card. Although, just quickly, my name's Cloister, and I make boxing videos to help keep you informed, so make sure to subscribe and I will always keep you in the loop. Now, by this point, I'm sure you would be living under a rock if you vaguely don't know what's going on. But Canelo Alvarez is now set to fight Terence Crawford on the 13th of September in Las Vegas on Netflix. This will be the third major boxing event to be hosted on Netflix, with the first two being that Paul Tyson fight card, and then the second being the Taylor Serrano 3 card, which is happening quite soon. For the most part, this was expected to be on Netflix. For any massive fight like this, it's an optimal destination to reach the largest audience possible. They have the cash to pay for the rights and make it basically free to view as long as you have a Netflix subscription. And way more of us have a Netflix account rather than a separate service where you have to pay a pay-per-view fee on top of your subscription. It's a good thing for us, the fans, and it's a good thing for boxing. It makes the fights easier to view and brings just so many more eyes to the sport. Although to me, this whole promotion seems a bit odd. Clearly, this is one of the bigger fights in the last couple of years. Yet it's being framed as fight of the decade. They keep telling us over and over. And to be honest, it is all a bit odd to be told how big this fight is rather than let the hype speak for itself. They just keep reaffirming, look, this is the fight of the decade over and over and over. Yet I don't know truly if this is the fight of the decade. Yes, it's two massive superstars, but it all seems a bit forced. I don't think this would really have hype above, say, Usyk Fury even. It's a bit of a controversial opinion, but I think that's the case because all of this just doesn't kind of seem real. You have the two together, happy as can be, no hostility, talking about how good the other fighter is, and how this will be such a great show. It genuinely seems like they're promoting an exhibition. And when you're at that level, you don't need to be doing a ton of trash talking and have huge hostility to really make it a real promotion. But when you compare it to, say, Bivol Beterbiev, two blokes who are two pure professionals, that felt real. This seems like an exhibition. I don't know, it's just the vibe, but it's honest. That's why the promotion seems to be lacking. I think another element which has resulted in this fight having way less hype than it deserves is kind of the rollout of this fight. If you keep up with boxing, you knew this fight was going to happen probably almost a year ago now. It has genuinely been the worst kept secret in boxing. So when it was officially announced a few days ago, no one seemed to really care. But of course we cared, boxing fans, we care that it's being promoted, it's on Netflix, it's kinda cool. But when you have the official Netflix announcement struggling to crack a couple million impressions for a fight of this size, you have to question, where did this promotion all go wrong? For a fight of this size, it should have had way more. And although this fight will be an inevitable success for Netflix, the odd way they've gone about the promotion seems to have led to more questions than answers. And another odd piece of the puzzle is how Dana White is apparently promoting this fight now, after being kicked out of the promotion for the fight. He's back somewhat. I think Eddie Hearn summed it up almost perfectly when he was on the Ade and Ariel show about a week back, saying although they are promoters when they're doing these Saudi shows, really, Turkey is in charge. They make the decisions from the promotion materials, even down to when the tickets are being sold. Dana isn't taking over boxing when it comes to shows like this. All he will be is a glorified face. Out of all the promoters in combat sports, the one which will grab the most eyes is Dana, and that's exactly why he's there. And there is also rumours circulating, and they are very much rumours, but the Saudis are having the fight on the Saturday, and because of that, they might have to have the fight in the afternoon so Dana can do the UFC at night. If this happens, it would be insane. I don't understand why they would let that happen. But let me know what you think is better, a night or a day fight. I'm absolutely on the night. I think it deserves a Saturday night spot. Yet anyway, Dana White's promoting it. Really, it's no big deal. Dana won't be a threat to boxing unless he starts up his own league. And I think he's been struggling with that. It's a massive if. But with this card, who should we expect on it? Well, in the last few days, Turkey says he doesn't want any more running fights, which was a bit of a response to the pretty big debate within the sport about no running. Now, Turkey's not dumb. He's a good promoter. He knows that the Canelo and the New York events didn't have the same promotional success compared to the Ben Eubank fight, and that's simply down to the quality of the main event. And with this, Turkey has made a list of opponents he would love to see on this card, which he thinks won't make boring fights. And just on a side note, we've talked about this no running issue in boxing before. This topic really heated up after another YouTuber called Showbiz proposed a no running rule. If you follow boxing online, you've probably heard of it. Since Turkey's statement, this kind of idea has become relevant again. The most popular answer to solving the running problem has been Showbiz's rule, but even then, he still dodges criticism and avoids serious questions about his rule. And it's all a bit sad. I'd rather have genuine discussion about a relevant topic like ring sizes, which would drive real change, rather than pushing a flawed concept which will only drive further corruption within the sport. I think this tweet pretty much sums it up. Don't know who this fella is, but he's pretty spot on. But anyway, that's enough about that. So, the proposed fighters list that Turkey wants to see includes Nakatani, and Mbilli, Abdullah Mason, and a bunch of Saudi-related talents. It's clear what they're doing to a certain point. I don't think this undercard will be mega. The main event is mega, but outside of maybe a Nakatani or an Mbilli fight, they want fighters on the card that they are promoting. It just kind of makes sense. They're putting them on this mega stage to give them as much exposure as they can. Now, I would love to see a fighter like Nakatani be given the opportunity to co-main such an event. He's deserving, he's entertaining to watch, and he gives it his all. And if he wants to stay active, it would make perfect sense to let him fight on this card in September before a potential in-away fight early next year. Some fighters I would love to see on such a card would include Rolly Romero, Caballel, and Opataya would be nice. The Yanibek Adames unification would be good. Murdazaliev maybe versus an Ortiz Jr., Kamel Moten if he can escape the grasp of PBC, or even somebody like Stephen Fulton. I'd be pretty happy with any of them. I hope we get some of those names, but I think mostly we're going to get sort of the names which Turkey put out on that list. Lesser known, very talented names. And even then, I'm not massively against that. As a boxing fan, I would love that, and we have a mega main event. That all sounds pretty good to me. But basically, that's what's been going on. The fight's on Netflix, Dana is back in the promotion, Turkey gave Haney a heart attack, and the undercard should be an interesting mix of fighters. Yet now, I want to hear what you think at home. What are your thoughts on the Netflix deal, your thoughts on the fight as a whole, and who do you want to see on the undercard? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. It does a ton to help the channel. Yeah, thanks for watching fellas, and I'll catch you in the next one.